I missed your name, buddy. Sorry, Demon. Somebody. Kitty Swiss. Heather Mack. What's up, girl? Ben Bray's mommy joined. Disco Inferno's up. Christian Golfaroo. Kevin Rubik's my guy. What's up, Kev? How you doing this morning? He's a moderator. He'll kick you off the train if you're bad. And what are the rules on the train? Raven999 joins. The rules on the train are very simple. There's no spitting. It's gross, man. No loud radios. Nobody wants to hear your shit. And no preaching on the train. If you preach on the train, you get the whistle. I've been told the whistle's loud on people's devices, and it shuts off their sound for a second when I do that. But yeah, so we like it. And if you preach on the train, the moderators will kick you off. Hey, Kev. Hey, Heather. Hey, guys. Christian Gileru. What's up? Lucifer West. What's up? All aboard! Move on to the back, people. There is plenty of room on the virtual railway for everybody to sit down. So please do move to the back, make room for your people, and get ready to have some fun. I got a new device here, and maybe if we get a preacher, we give them the fart generator. I'm not going to say the other G word because I don't want to get kicked off for for something, because we're always getting kicked off. The live stream got interrupted. Whitetail, what's up? Somebody else. You got that gun? It's awesome, right? I forgot I had it here. Can't believe I haven't used it yet. Well met, non-crazy, crazy cat lady, the Danish dumpling, the delicious apple-cheeked Danish dish from Denmark is my girl, and she is here, and she will kick you off the train, too, if you preach on the train. Let's see who's first. Hello, Freckle Warrior. What's up? That scares your dog? Yeah, I bet. He probably thinks it's a real fart. Hi, Galaxy Bear. Thanks for the follow, my friend. River Pups. What's a river pup? That's cool. Evermont King. J Bishop 88. TJ Moran. Brandon Miruden. Ewayne. 420 Kid. Builder 407. John Sherman. JW81. Anonymous Kate. Dragon Scorn. Hazel Green. Mana 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 mana. Holy Fricolero. Chances. Did I really read that? Are you a Fricolero? Wild Wild West. Thanks for being here, everybody. As I was saying before, I got kicked off the live on Wednesday. Photoshop a wiener? What's that mean? What does that mean?
I don't know.
I got producer Jay in the studio for the first time in a long time. We got together today. What's up? Jiu-Jitsu is life. I'm doing good here. We filmed another episode of throwing one of the trolls under the train. I got the model train out, fixed it up a little bit, put it in the other room, filmed another stupid comment, like stupider when you see it, you're not even believe how stupid this fucking comment is. You love being on the train? Thanks, Freckle Warrior. We love you. We love all of you so much. I like every man here. Yeah, puff on this. If you got something for me to puff on, buddy, pass it on down. What do I think of Ra? The God Ra or Aaron Ra? Love them both. Bryce, B. Trice, 3 Jihod, Smokey and the Bandit, too. Wow. Worst sequel ever, right? Smokey and the Bandit, pretty fun. A little bit dated. I watched it again not that long ago just to see. Yes, God? What's that mean? Love the energy this morning. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit crazy.
No, the God Ra.
Oh, the God Ra? Yeah, it's the sun, right? The sun god is Ra?
Yeah.
I don't know a ton about Egyptian mythology, but they're all better than Christianity. Every last fucking one of them. Hi from Ontario. What's up? You out and about in Ontario? If you have any questions, yes, use the question feature. Thank you, Kevin. If you have questions that you really want answered, use the dialogue box at the bottom of the screen with a question mark in it, and it'll stay there and give me a little red dot to remind me that you got a question for me. You got Hurricane Ida? Yeah, what's up, Carolyn? Stay safe, man. Stay in the basement if you have to. What did I eat for breakfast? This is the Atheist Brunch now. I always bring something. I got granola and yogurt mixed. I love granola and yogurt. What the fuck is more expensive than Quaker granola? You ever got it? You guys like granola? There's some Quaker granola from the fucking store, and I love it. I mean, I really love it. It's full of friggin' fat, so you get that umami, but it's also like pretty good for you too in some ways. Shit's like $1,000 a box, man. Have you ever seen that? And then it's like you get 4 bowls out of it and you're gone. Oh yeah, you're in Louisiana, no basements in Louisiana. What's that about? With all the hurricanes? I guess it just fill up with water, right? Yeah, I know. You're below sea level. Hey, from New Jersey. What's up, New Jersey? What's up, Jersey? Good morning, terrible Tigger. Necessary death. Recall Newsom. We got a screamer. What's with the caps? Rozzy Trenegate. Are you a right winger? Atheist talk is superior. It is superior. You like granola? I like granola too, Kev. Delilah 43298. Howdy. Hello from Boston. Your cousin from Boston. What's going on in Boston today? I'm going to be there in November for the FFRF convention. If you're not a member of FFRF, that you need to be, it's only $40, and your money goes to a good cause. It goes to fighting Christian nationalism, suing the assholes who break the line between church and state. All right, they get sued if they're reasonably, if FFRF can reasonably be expected to win. And then they win a lot of times. So it's a really necessary outfit and really great, and do great work, and they got great smart lawyers. So join FFRF if you haven't yet. Happy Sunday, Footsie Daffodil. Dark Lord of the Smith. Made some improvements in the studio. Got me a ring light, and we were rushing this morning, so it's not maybe in the best position. But hopefully I can get the. That's all right, Heather. You don't got to join. College students. There actually is a student. If you look on the website, ffrf.org, I think there's probably a student rate. It's not $40. Thank you for the roses. Velidros. Love you so much. Choo choo, single blade, 50. Veladrosi. I don't want to say that wrong, but I love reading the names. Sometimes they're hard. It sure you feel. Kip Newton. What's up? Peacemaker 500. What's up? Tom Murray 99.3. Amir somebody. Talk 666. Appalachia 49. Wesley Yost. M. Lopez. Love all you people. So good to see everybody today. As I was saying, made a few improvements. Got an air conditioner in here. I've had it. I don't know what the hell took me so long. I'm lazy. I'm high. I don't know why I didn't get it hooked up. But maybe I don't have to sweat so much. Good morning from Mountain Home Air Force Base. Is that what that is? AFB? What's up, man? Squid Maddox is in the Air Force? I didn't know. Maybe I got that wrong. Lawrence 287. Thank you for the follow. L Wild joined. Steve Crow. Nick 32. And then improvements I deserve. Yes, I deserve it all, my friend. Does body count matter in terms of what, man? What's with the conductor bit? Are you new to the station, my friend? Mark Robinson says, what's new? What with the conductor bit? It's actually an engineer hat. This would be a conductor hat. See the difference, my friend? We are a virtual railway. And if I haven't had anybody say Jesus loves me yet, that's pretty good. The conductors are actually the one who kicks people off. You, no loud radios, get off the fucking train. But that's the conductor hat. This is the engineer hat. Atheist Underground is a virtual railway moving people around to different parts of the atheist movement. And so I just went with the theme and got me an engineer, an old-timey engineer hat and a whistle. And there we go. They do have model trains. And like I said, producer Jay in the studio. Am I a Swiftie? I was a Swiftie. Got kicked out of Swift. What does that mean, Swiftie? Mark Robinson, 318, followed. Oh, thanks for the follow, Mark. Appreciate it. Tune up. What's up, Baff? Baphometal 666. He's hilarious. Join him on his channel, Baphometal 666, and he got a podcast called Burning Eden, right? The Burning Eden podcast. Right? A Taylor Swift fan. I'm a fan of Taylor Swift, not so much her music. My God was invented by illiterate sheep herders in Bronze Age Palestine. I think God was invented before that, but yeah, they definitely added their fucking their crazy bit on top of it all for sure. Am I afraid of Adonai? Who's Adonai? Adonai? Who's that, Jay? Adonai. I don't know what that is, buddy. I'm not afraid of much, man, but I'm afraid that the country's going to get taken over by Christian nationalists. That's what I'm afraid of. My name is Mud 81. What's up, man? Didn't see you here. Adonai is Lord. Lord of what? Lord of the Dance. Remember that asshole from the 90s, 80s, 90s? How do you get live on TikTok? How do you all get live on TikTok feeds? What does that mean?
You have to have 1,000 followers.
You have to have 1,000 followers to go. If you want to go live, you have to get to 1,000 followers. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Randy Visser. Appreciate you. You want a Chanel? You can get Chanel. I think they're having trouble making Chanel No. 5 because the flowers are in short supply. Man, they're worried about losing the flower, the jasmine flower that they need to make Chanel No. 5. But nah, bro, you ain't shit. Look at this guy. Look at you. Okay. Oh, thanks. Now, I'm not always so energetic. I feel like I'm on a high today. I don't know why. Thanks for the fire, Sailor. Appreciate you. Uh, uh, um, Appalachia sent the likes. Yes, tap the screen to send likes if you do like it, and please share the live. I still feel like I'm being shadow banned. The follows have just gone in the dumper over the last few weeks since I got a couple of bans from going live. But talking about being banned from going live, if you were here on Wednesday, you know that we got pulled like 5 minutes before the end for bullying and harassment, and I wasn't really bullying or harassing anybody that I could remember, but I did get snarky. If the preachers come on here and they preach, then I do get a little bit snarky at them, and maybe they report me. I don't know, but it got put back up because there was no bullying and harassment. So I got to give props to the talk. They suck in general, but they do get it right sometimes. I was able to obviously be here live with you today because of it. So, but it made me think, why don't they just ban, as soon as somebody complains, why don't they just ban, block the person that they're complaining about from being seen by them? Wouldn't that solve the problem? Because they're too stupid to do that themselves. If I say something that offends you, you can just block me, right? But they don't want to do that. They want to get you fucked, right? But if TikTok wants to be fair, as soon as somebody complains about me, they should block me from that person's account. That person cannot no longer be offended by the horrible things I say. And then TikTok can investigate. And if it's something that's like really ridiculously over the top that might offend anybody who comes across it, then they can take action. But this knee jerk just pulling a live in the middle of a live because one asshole had a complaint, that's some bullshit and it's not fair. And here we see, like, the last two lives I got pulled were what my access was restored right away because there wasn't any damn violations. I keep blocking and I get twice as much like it. That's weird. I'm just here to see offended Christians. Hawaiian Koa. That's always fun, right? One of the biggest things that gives me pause about atheism is the USSR and PRC. What's wrong with people? The two don't have anything to do with each other. Dictators in communist countries used atheism because they know that religion unites people, right? They know that religion is a unifying factor. And we see that today. Atheism doesn't unite anybody, right? Because atheists don't have any other thing in common. But if you can all rally around your Russian Orthodox religion, you have more solidarity against a tyrannical government. The thought that atheism has anything to do with communism is not a reasonable thought. It doesn't have anything to do with it. All those people know that getting rid of religion for the people makes it easier for or they think that's their philosophy. It makes it easier for them to not have a solidarity block of voters that can rise up against them or whatever, right? Do anything to counter their wishes. There's other philosophies. Obviously, religion's been used to control people, so it goes the other way. You let religion survive, and then the government can keep scaring people with religion. We know that governments use religion to control people too. So it's just a philosophy. It doesn't have anything to do. Communism has anything to do with atheism. It has nothing to do with atheism. They're completely fucking separate. Bro, Saturday atheist students at HH near Athens. I have no idea what you wrote, buddy. You see that one? Yeah. If you see one that goes by, then tell me. Because we are on StreamYard too, on YouTube via StreamYard, and the cameras are pretty close together here. So Jay is with me in the studio. If you haven't followed Atheist Animated, you got to do it. He posts the best of cartoon taking the piss out of religion. Shit from like South Park and Family Guy and people who we know don't have any fucking taste for religion either. But there's a lot of it out there, a lot of good animated shit, and he puts it up. Christian Catholics are definitely responsible for 100% of dead children. Yeah, I did see somebody asked about what are my thoughts on the residential schools in Canada. It's fucking disgusting. Again, it's religious exceptionalism. They're just able to get away with whatever the fuck they want, and now it's come to light that they got away with abusing and letting kids die or outright murdering them or whatever. If they're schools which were nothing but an attempt to assimilate native kids to Western culture, maybe the kid just couldn't be assimilated, so they kill him. I don't know. It's disgusting, and the church needs to be held accountable. Any church that was involved and any government that was involved needs to be held accountable for that bullshit. The Bible isn't true because it does make no sense. Of course not.
Mark asked, how do you counter religious folks who like Pascal's wager?
Oh my God, it's just so dumb. It's just such a dumb argument. Tell them that they need to believe in every God. If they're gonna hedge their bets, then they have to believe in every of the 1,000 of gods that has existed through history. You can't just pick one and be like, okay, well, if I'm wrong, I got nothing to lose. But if you're wrong, you got everything to lose. What if you're wrong about picking Yahweh instead of Zeus? It doesn't make sense. It's one of the worst philosophies that ever was. The church did take away the rights of Hawaii. Hawaiians were fucked by There's mostly Puritan missionaries, I want to think. And the one guy actually, you know, sometimes they find a gold nugget. That guy who wrote, it was a Christian missionary type who actually you know, wrote down the Hawaiian language, only a spoken language. They had no writing of Hawaiian before like 1780 or whenever the hell the guy did it. But yeah, in general, no. I've been to Hawaii like 5 times, and their native religion is so beautiful. And you know, it's just another example of how the Western religion has destroyed culture. Maybe we should build our own app, change people from making false reports. That's what they really need to do. They need to fucking do their job, man. They need to actually have somebody actually looking at it and stop that from happening, because too many good atheist creators are getting stifled and stymied. Jesus will smite the unholy. There you go, man. No preaching on the train. That is not the West. Don't know what that means.
Daniela says, your philosophy is just wrong. There's no base for morality.
Why are you yelling in all caps, man? Good comment, dude. Sir, can you explain the story of the Tower of Babel paints God as the bad guy? The story of the Tower of Babel, where was that where language was invented? Because I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with that. I mean, I know what you're talking about. Why are you mad, Dave? But sorry, yeah, I'm not educated enough on the Tower of Babel or the idea that God was the bad guy. Then all you have to do is read the Old Testament to know that God was the bad guy in almost every situation. People do come at you with the language thing, though, don't they? They're like, the reason we know there's a God is because we're able to communicate with each other. It's like, what? Like, because I don't know. I don't even know what that means, because animals can't, and we know some animals do, you know, with proto-language and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, the God of the Bible condoned slavery for sure. And thanks for joining, everybody. A lot of names going by. Hit me up if you want to toot out and I miss your name. It's because I'm talking, not because I am trying to diss you. Dance24E, use a lot of numbers. Gueni, Bosamek. I don't believe there's a God, but I hope there's a God. Really? Why? Why would you hope there's a God? If there's a God, he might not like you, you know, and then he sends you to hell. You know what? Why would you hope for that? If there's a God, he obviously doesn't give a shit about what goes on here, taking care of his people. There could be no joy for me in a heaven where I know others are suffering eternally. There could be no joy for me in a heaven that's full of fucking Christians. Who the hell wants to be there, man? That's disgusting. Hail Satan. What's up, Mark Robinson? What's your favorite dinosaur? You know what? I was always a Stegosaurus guy. Is Stegosaurus the one with the club tail?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Or the spiky tail
And the spines.
and the spines on the back. What was the one with the turtle-looking one with the club tail? What was the name of that one?
I'll take it in seconds.
I got Jay looking it up. I was always that guy who liked those medium-sized, funky-looking ones, man. Whereas everyone else was like, oh, like Tyrannosaurus Rex, Allosaurus, you know, whatever. These days, Ankylosaur, thank you. Yeah, I love that one. Man, I had a little. Am I Legion? What does that mean? Favorite sport? I'm a baseball guy. Baseball's the best team sport. Golf might be the best sport, but baseball. And I could go on about why baseball is better than every other sport, but you know, all you got to do is watch Bull Durham, and Susan Sarandon will tell you, and you can look at Susan Sarandon back in the day for a couple of hours. But baseball is better because it's not timed, and they're starting to change that with the fucking, you know, the way that they change the extra innings thing. But you know, every other sport you can lean on the clock in the end. Every other sport is bound by a rectangle, or bound by a square, or bound by, you know, out of bounds. There's no out of bounds in baseball. You know, in the day there was no stands in the outfield. There was no bleachers, and so you could hit the ball 100 miles, and if somebody happened to be able to run 100 miles and catch it, they was still an out, right? If you had a foul ball and somebody can run as far as they can behind you and get it, so that, you know, the two perpendicular lines of the baselines that stretch out into infinity, leaving a quarter of infinity for fair play and all the rest of it for out of play. And the no timing, and you have to win to win. You have to finish the game to win. You have to get through all 9 innings to win. You can't just build up a lead and lean on. There's a million reasons that baseball is a better sport. So yeah, don't mean to go off on baseball. What scares you, if anything? Heights, spiders, snakes? I get weirded out about not necessarily claustrophobic, but like when I see people like crawling through skinny tubes in the dark, like if you're crawling through a sewer pipe trying to get somewhere and it's really closed in like that, I get creeped out by that. But no, heights don't bother me. I'm not really sure crap like that I'm afraid of. Other than that, I wouldn't be that guy who, like, when your kids are like, hey, crawl through this sewer pipe to the other end, and then all of a sudden the flood comes and you get sucked away and drowned. That sounds shitty. God is either all powerful and not all good, or all good and not all powerful. Yeah, I like the idea of a not all powerful God, and that's in the pantheist view or polytheist view. None of those gods were all powerful. They were constantly fighting with each other for their own agendas. And more reflected humanity a little bit better than a God that's obviously not all powerful because he can't destroy evil. But I've had like people who don't follow a dogma, who might consider themselves spiritual, talk about God as though this were an experiment, and God is like doesn't really control what happened. I'm like, well, that's fine. Maybe he's just a powerful alien who has powers way beyond ours. But how is that a God then? If you know what I mean? If they're not all powerful or all knowing, if they don't really know what's going to happen with their creation, how are they all powerful? How is that a God? How does that creature deserve praise or worship? Hello from Virginia, Hudman. What's up? What is the dogma? Dogma is a set of rules that you can't stray from if you're religious. Hey, you're on YouTube. What's your challenge called? What's your challenge called on there? What's that mean?
What was it?
Veiled. Oh, veiled. I get it. Veiled Rose. Veiled Rosie says, oops. Says, hey, flower, flower, flower. Bouquet. God damn it.
The real Johnny says, the real Johnny Rotten says, your karma ran over my dogma.
That's pretty good. I read C.S. Lewis. I love Chronicles of Narnia. I was a church boy. My mom bought me the whole set. I read those books when I was, 10, 12. And I liked them, But C.S. Lewis, Christian apologists are a fucking embarrassment to intellectualism. So I got nothing more to do with C.S. Lewis. God is the singularity. God is a singularity, the joining of all creation. That's what he is. Thanks, man. Glad you figured it out for us. You're a genius. Oh, there it is. There it is. Jesus loves you. Ha ha, Dominic Toretto. I love smelly fonts. Somebody kick that dude off. What's your YouTube channel called? Same thing, Atheist Underground. We're on there by a StreamYard right now. If anybody's on there, I should see questions. Oh, yes, right? Hello, Stephanie Martin. What comments are this guy responding to? Is he streaming Twitch or something too? Thank you, Shallow Shy. We are on TikTok, which has, 70 people right now, which is a lot, actually, for us. Morning, Tampa. And so I tend to ignore the YouTube. Here's the YouTube camera via StreamYard. So I will look over there. I'm sorry that I didn't see you guys before. And you're looking at it. So if there's some pop up and I'm not seeing it, yeah. Jay, let me know. Thanks for the follow. Pirate Princess. Who doesn't want a pirate princess? That sounds awesome. Gay San? What's that mean? Thank the Sky Daddy that religious participation is going down. Yeah, for sure, man. God is something people use to explain things, but in today's world, God's outlived use. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. God was proto-science at some point. People used that shit to explain what they didn't know and feel better about dying. Why am I wearing clothes? Because I get kicked off of TikTok for nudity when I am wearing clothes. What the hell would they do to me if I didn't wear clothes? God is king. Thanks. Oh, thanks, man. Great use of capitals there. You got me. I'm a fucking Christian now. I said Jesus loves you on my second account as a joke, and you blocked me. You can't do that on here. I'm sorry to be like that, but it's like saying it's like getting in TSA line and making a joke about a bomb. You can't fucking do it because those are the people we've determined that catch us. Catch me saying something snarky back, and then they screenshot you, and then they report you. And so, there's no tolerance anymore for that because we want to be able to keep going because the work we do here is too fucking important. Jesus allowed his life to be ended. Wouldn't that be a sin? Yeah, suicide, right? I guess so. Only here to hear the ridiculousness you're spewing. Okay, thanks, Lori. Here you go. Something for you. Hi, Pirate Princess. I did see you come on before.
Someone wants to know, what do you think of native spirituality? Spiritually.
Of native spiritually? Oh, what do I think of native spirituality? I love all the native. To me, this is one of the big crimes of organized religion as it's become successful, is the quashing of these beautiful mythological arcs of native people. Why is the native religion of any culture less important than the one we have been indoctrinated into in the West? Just because Christianity got on the right horse and rode colonialism and westward expansion and Roman Empire and war after war and manifest destiny, as they call it, why does that make it more legit than the beautiful religion of, you know, the islander in the South Pacific? It's just fucking stupid. A lot of people getting muted this morning. Thanks for being here, all of you, but bye.
Satan's Little Helper on YouTube says hi.
What's up? Satan's Little Helper. I love it. Isn't that is that a play on the Simpsons dog?
Oh yeah.
I love decolonization, make America native again. Yeah, that'd be good. It might not go good for us white folk, you know, who are just trying to get along and do the right thing going forward. But yeah, you know, I can't argue with that, man. What a fucking embarrassment. Then you can leave. Yeah. A Big Bang just thought it should organize everything the way it is. What does that mean?
The question, the same they need a creator. Big Bang needs.
Oh, yeah, someone else who just doesn't understand physics. I mean, are you a cosmologist? Are you an astrophysicist? Are you a quantum mechanic? Or do you have a different job? If you don't, then shut up. Stop arguing with the people who literally spend their lives. Unblock just chilling, bro. If he's, you know, if it really was a joke, then unblock him. But if you guys, the moderators are taking care of that. I'm going too fast, so you know, if you're gonna play like that, who's to say that you're not trying to fool us and get you unblocked? And how are you talking to us if you're blocked? What is that about? If you're blocked, aren't you blocked, or you keep on starting a new account to get on here? Why do you care if God doesn't like you? Don't you not know who he is? What does that mean? There is no God. I can't care if he doesn't like me. Terrible Turk. I went to Catholic. Sorry. What is your day job? We have a landscape company here. I'm a horticulturist. Good morning, Florence. What's up, Betty Florence? I knew a girl. You always remind me of a lady growing up, Betty Lawrence, who I still see on Facebook and who still preaches to me on Facebook. Nice lady. Ran a local convenience store. What if I have a cousin named Jesus and he loved you? Then he'd be gay, I guess. But that's cool. I know some gay Jesuses. Hey, I was just wondering if you're a materialist. What does that really mean? I've had people say that if you're into materialism, like some as a philosophy. Like I don't know. I don't have a lot of like toys and shit. So I'm not sure how to answer that. I was on your previous lives, Dominic Toretto 12. That's my account. If you remember, you call yourself an atheist. Are you now part of some belief system? No. No belief system. Love Jesus from the Big Lebowski. Yeah, for sure. Do I sound like a Midwesterner? That's embarrassing to me, man. Because I try, where I pick up the accent of wherever I am, and I've been out here for 20 years. So in general, I don't sound like a Midwesterner. Yeah, you got that nasally reindeer. Oh yeah, we're from Wisconsin. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be cold this winter. You better get your.
You got you a materialism definition. Materialism is a form of philosophical monism that holds that matter is the fundamental substance in nature, and that all things, including mental states and consciousness, are results of material interactions. Sounds like science to me.
Sounds like science, yeah. I mean, I don't know enough to argue with that. It sounds pretty good. Yeah, materialism is the belief that the brain and its chemicals are responsible for the experience of life. Yes, I think that's pretty obvious. I think we pretty much know that. When they can use probes to excite the part of the brain that prayer does, and they can actually induce people to have God experiences, to see God in the room with them. They've done that. I've talked to neurosurgeons and neuroscientists and neurologists, and They can do that. So to me, that's right there. That's proof that God's not real. If you can actually push the button in your brain that makes God up, to me, that's pretty good proof that he comes from our brains.
Or drugs can change how people think.
Religion control over the masses since the beginning of civilization. Yeah. Can't argue with that. There is no free will. I don't have any problem with that. Materialism is actually, now that you're talking about it, yeah. Free will is an illusion because every decision you make is influenced by everything you are and have been through, your environment and the chemical reactions in your brain. So I don't really believe there is free will. That's an easy argument to get behind. We have the illusion of free will, and it's functionally about as free as we can have it be, but it really isn't actually free will. Thanks, Danny Longlegs. I love that. Thanks for the follow. Christian here. I'm one of the few that is fine with people believing in whatever they want. Yeah, to me that's where Christianity went astray, is when the evangelicals started taking over in America and started trying to tell other people what to fucking think. You'd have a ball with Hyperhumanity X. He's also atheist on TikTok, and seems like you'll have a lot in common. I think maybe I've seen that dude. Hyperhumanity Merch, isn't that the guy? I don't know what the X is. That's the guy who you've seen him, right? And then what it's called, Hyperhumanity Merch. Yeah, he breaks down biblical idiocy really, really well when he does it. John Biden fixing USA. Nice. There's one for John Biden with an O. I don't know who that is. Christianity went astray due to the Nicene Council and the agenda they formed and pushed there. Yeah, I mean that's probably true. I think at least they firmed up at the Nicene Council what Christianity was, because if they hadn't, they would probably be even more denominations than there are now.
Here's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Dr. Sam 2020 asks, has climate change altered your horticulture practices?
Yeah, I try to push people towards xeriscapes whenever it makes sense for them in that way. But I was always the guy. I mean, my horticulture practices from the beginning were about conservation of water. That leads you to the proper solution in the landscape, using natives, using plants that can take our drought situations that have evolved to take the prairie fires that we get here and everything like that. It's the only way to actually landscape. If you're trying to enforce a Japanese garden in your Arizona desert, you're going to come up short. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So in that way, no, because I've been on the cutting edge since the beginning. So I heard a couple of people speak early in my career about doing the right thing for water when it comes to landscaping, and all of that leads you to the right decision making when it comes to what species to plant, what culture to build in people's yards and so forth. What do you think about people using clovers instead of grass? Grass is poison. I discourage people from turf grass lawns whenever I can. The monoculture is anathema to nature. Nature hates a monoculture. We see that everywhere. Biodiversity is the key to a healthy environment, and a turf grass lawn is the opposite of that. It wouldn't sustain itself for a month. If you didn't mow it and you didn't put down chemicals, it would quickly return to its native state. That should let you know right there that what you're doing is wrong. There's a million other reasons. When they build in the Midwest, I'll try to make this quick for people. When they build in the Midwest, at least, we scrape away the topsoil so they can build on hard clay, right? Then they put a little bit of topsoil back to put your grass on. Then you come along with your turf care and you blow unregulated emissions into the air in every yard across the entire fucking country, and then you spray chemicals on it. Well, when the chemicals don't get all used up by the grass, some of them run through the roots down to that clay base, and then it rains, right? And then it washes, because that rain soaks through the 6 inches of grass roots, maybe hits the clay and washes off, right? All that water runs into the river systems, through the sewers, through the gutters, into the rivers, into the Mississippi River, down to the Gulf of Mexico, and it carries with them all the pesticides that didn't get used up by the turf. And then the pesticides go there first, right? And they land in the swamp in Louisiana, where they build up and they kill the native flora down there. And so they're losing. The reason that Katrina was so horrible is because they didn't have that nice buffer. There was a natural buffer against hurricanes and wave surges, because there was a swamp, a huge swamp in between the ocean and the land. Well, that's dying away because of the way that we do agriculture and landscaping. We don't suffer the effects here because it all runs away. It all runs down to Louisiana and then builds up backwards. So like millennia in the future, it'll be so poisoned that every river system backwards from there will start filling up with the very chemicals that we are using here and sending down there. And the only reason we do that is so we can have a perfect fucking turf grass lawn. No, turf grass belongs on the fucking baseball field and on the golf course. Other than that, if you're cultivating actively lots and lots of turf just because you like to look, then you're a putz, and you need to change your perception, because who wouldn't rather have a prairie full of flowers all summer long, birds, butterflies, voles, weasels, every kind of life that you can imagine, thriving and teeming, and then burning once in a while, so that you can unlock the seeds which can only be unlocked by the fire that came every year. Like the natives knew that the fire was necessary and good for the health of the land. But now turfgrass became fashionable because people thought that it reflected wealth, right? The only people that could afford a turf grass lawn back in the day were rich people, because you had to have someone out there constantly weeding it by hand, mowing it, cutting it. And no frontiersman could afford that. So no frontiersman had a lawn. They had dirt and they had whatever weeds grew and sagebrush and scrub. And so when the suburbs started to become a thing, and after World War II, we developed the chemicals necessary to kill the weeds, there was this huge explosion in chemical science after World War II, thanks to the military industrial complex. And all of a sudden, turfgrass lawns were available to the average man. And so everybody wanted one because they thought that made you look rich. Now, generations later, everybody's just conditioned to think that looks really nice. When I want to tell you, if you see a real healthy prairie, it looks so much better than a fucking smelly, fucking dirty, cut-ass turf grass lawn that burns up in the sun and needs mowing every week and needs chemicals just to survive. Imagine it. You've got a beautiful fucking lawn out there. You think it's real great, and a dandelion pops its head up. One other species of life, one of the millions of species of plant life on this planet, tries to express itself, tries to live in your turf grass lawn, and you fucking run out of your garage with Roundup and blast it away dead. That's what people are doing when they do a turf grass lawn. All right, I'll shut up about grass. What did I miss? Shallow Shy says, I'm cool with decolonization. Send my white ass back to Ireland. It's only going to get whiter in Ireland. So yeah, go for it. Ready? Yeah, well, that's it. We are on StreamYard. We are on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't. It's in the bio. Hit the camera where the Instagram logo is, and you can pull it down and join us on both. Yeah, dandelions are great. Dandelions are just like so fucking useful compared to grass. Thank you. If you like, thank Grim Chaos. That's my rant about grass. It really gets me upset. So what I try to do is build a garden around a little island of grass in people's yards, and then that grass serves as kind of a palette against which the flower beds can be contrasted. People don't agree with me, but fighting a war with stones is so green. Yeah, we should fight all wars with stones. I think that's a good idea. If he knew who God was, yeah, bluegrass. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's all Kentucky bluegrass if people want a bluegrass run. It's unsustainable. Bluegrass in nature would exist as clumps, little clumps, among the other shortgrass prairie stuff. I'm sure he has read the Bible before. I've read the Bible a couple of times, and I go back to it. I got a couple Bibles here. Last time I was in a hotel, I took their Gideon's Bible. Took it home with me.
You were surprised. You were in a hotel, and they had a Book of Mormon.
Why do they call it? Did they?
Yeah, on top of the Bible.
They had a Book of Mormon on top of the Bible. Producer Jay says at a hotel he went to. I've never seen that. I would definitely take that, because that's got to be a good laugh. But that crafty canine says, why do they call it Kentucky bluegrass when it's not blue? If you see pure Kentucky bluegrass, what we have is mostly blends of short fescues and bluegrass. It just makes it easier to grow. But if you see an actual cultivated bluegrass lawn next to other green grasses, it looks blue. Huge class action lawsuit against Roundup was settled for causing lymphoma. Don't use Roundup. Yeah, don't use Roundup regularly. That's for sure. I stay away from chemicals. And that's what I'm saying. If you can create a landscape that doesn't need chemicals, you don't have to use it. At this point in my life, it's a little bit of Roundup that I'm around, but it's more about people who are always around it and always using it and always touching it. And it's bad shit, man. I used to think it was pretty safe. It's not. Such a crafty story with many revisions. Don't know what that means.
I assume the Bible. Such a crafty
Terrible ticket. You got to go. Thanks, man. Thanks for being here. Love you. So Kentucky bluegrass is best for all sun, right? Yeah. I mean, they have blends. Like I said, you can't get pure bluegrass. That just doesn't really exist in the industry. They're all blends of other grasses, and some of them contain, grass that takes sun. You can get sunny blends and shady blends. The shady blends have more of the mix of grass that takes the little bit of shade. But Kentucky bluegrass, a cool season grass. It has the ability to go dormant when it gets 90 degrees out and there's no water at all for a month. It'll go dormant for a long time before it actually dies from that. And then when it rains, it starts getting green again. Jua Billy, what's up, man? How you been? Haven't seen you here in a long time, I don't think. Mocust, good day, sir. Good day to you. Been a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's going all right, man. It's going all right. I can't complain. I've had some issues with the domicile. Had some electrical problems I had to get through this week, but we fixed them. That was satisfying. Trying to fix my look a little there. That's better. Where's your sin-free atheist? What's up, man? There's your toot. Love sin-free atheist. Follow him if you haven't already. Thanks for being here, dude. David Gray too. Haven't seen you in a while, or haven't seen the name. God is the greatest mass murderer in the world, according to his own book. Yeah, he is. Over 2 million kills, I want to say, to his credit. And it doesn't get any better. It has real lineages from these ancient times. What does? Real lineages? Yeah, Kentucky bluegrass or wouldn't. And the floor, that's why down there you have Bermuda grass and bent grass. Those are warm season grasses. They don't come out. If we use them up here, they don't even get green until June. You know what I mean? That's whereas bluegrass will start getting green in March. If it starts getting warm and there's water. So there's cool season grasses and warm season grasses. And yeah, bluegrass needs to be in the northern temperate zone, and it doesn't get much further south than Kentucky, as a matter of fact. God's KD ratio is millions to one. Yeah. Are negative ions good? Do waterfalls produce ions? Can they affect people if we're made of atoms? Don't know, man. Not a scientist. So if you are a true atheist, you claim to know all the secrets of the universe. Yeah, I know all the secrets of the universe. What the fuck does that mean, dude? No, it just means I don't believe in a God. That's all it means. There wasn't a worldwide flood in the Bible. It took from local floods. Yeah, of course. Yeah, this dude, all of it, right, Jay? Lightning creates negative ions. Yeah, like I said, I'm not. God is on your live. There's one for him. Butterbean joined. Gutsy fart, nice. Gusty fart. That's right. I just used the fart machine. What's up, Gusty fart? Blocked is Kana Jess. Thanks for being here. You have been blocked. We are actually consuming dead water today. No positive ions left. Find a natural spring. Yeah, I don't know enough. I wish I could comment on that, but it sounds like you know more about it than me. If you don't believe in God, then you don't believe that at some point singularity became duality. I'm not sure.
He's talking about the singularity, but that's not what that means at all.
That's not what that means. What duality means, there's a God and there's a devil, and that was invented by Zoroaster. Singularity is just a break in the curve. All of a sudden, there's a singularity. I stand firm to my beliefs in God, but nonetheless count you as a friend. All right, thanks, Mocust. I think Mocust is a preacher. I have a hard time remembering some of these names, but I think you were an ex-pastor, maybe. Is because I put my refuge in God. I put my refuse in God. Do galaxies go on forever, or is there eventually just empty space? I'm not. They can't see to the edge of the universe. I don't think. I don't think our telescopes, go that far. What we know of the universe is that it's like dots on a balloon or a rubber band. It just keeps expanding, and it expands at an ever accelerating rate, which of course is counter to Newtonian physics, which is why Einstein had to come up with relativity as a fudge theory to explain how the universe could continue to expand at an ever accelerating rate. That's what we know. Mercifully saved by Christ. Thanks for the follow. Not sure why you want to follow an atheist, but that's cool. Everybody's welcome. Be respectful. We're good. God still loves and cares for. He has revealed himself to many and can do so for you. No preaching on the train, man. Sorry, that counts as preaching. Thanks for the follow, she wonders. I'm explaining religion through science that is known. Yeah, when you try to do that, you just all you do is reveal your faith is weak, because religion, can't be explained through science, and doing that is just confirmation bias. You're starting with your preconceived conclusion of God and trying to fit the scientific evidence to that conclusion. It's the opposite of the scientific method and the opposite of deductive reasoning. Whatever gets you to sleep at night. The universe will end on a whisper, not a bang. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yeah, and that's what they think now. It'll eventually expand to the point where nothing can stay together anymore. I got to work on the podcast. I actually got some work done. Finished a bit in the podcast. I'm moving on to another piece of it, so it will come out. And there is a interview with an astronomer who understands the Big Bang better than any of you people, or I don't know that. Maybe there's an astronomer out there who knows, but that's who I listen to. I listen to the experts. I don't listen to the janitor down at the fucking Pentecostal church when he tells me that science is not real. Now they theorize that there may be unseen universes inside each black hole. Yeah, the multiverse thing, I don't know how it works, but Grumpy Jim's on the podcast, and he doesn't seem to think there's a good argument against the multiverse. So that actually might be a plausible theory. I'm not going to try this back and forth. Please learn about the ancient Kemets, the real experts of ancient Kemets. What's an ancient Kemet? Kemet. Looking over here on the comments. Oops. Uh-oh, what did I do?
I'll just click go up to the top. Click that like flag looking thing to the right.
Flag?
Right.
This? Oh, there are comments, yeah.
You clicked it with the left or the wrong.
What?
You clicked it with the wrong mouse button.
I'm clicking it with, oh, you're right. Sorry. Thank you. Sorry, I'm distracted here. Thank you, Jamie. Goodbye. You have been blocked.
I forgot the word. What was it?
Kemet.
Kemet.
I wish we could have community together like a church and do potlucks on Sunday. Start one. Start one. If that's really what you want, then you can start one. They already have Sunday Assembly that does that, and we have a community organization called Craft, which is the FFRF chapter in Southeast Wisconsin here, and we do things. We get together not every Sunday, but if you're one of those people who miss the community of church, then start one. Invite your atheist friends and start one, and we can start getting to where there are alternatives to church that ancient Kermit's like the frog, yeah. Oh God, religious people love spamming lives. Yeah, what is with that? I don't spam Christian lives. Nothing could be more boring to me. Why would you do that? Hail Sagan. I love that, my friend.
That's great. Yeah.
That is, I've not heard that yet. TDFWTX. TDF Wittix. One for you, man.
I got Kemet as being what Egypt used to call itself back in ancient Egypt.
Spider-Man loves you. He died for you, and he is the only way to New York. Yeah. Who's psyched for the new Spider-Man movie? I love it when they use the actors from the old movies to play the same characters now, right? Now J.K. Simmons and Alfred Molina are back as the original characters from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans in the 90s, was it, or the 2000s when those ones came out? But they're reprising their roles in the new MCU Spider-Man movies with the crafty midget Tom Holland. I'm a fanboy when it comes to that shit. I think that's so fucking brilliant. Just saw the trailer for the new Spider-Man, and I'd love to see that Alfred Molina is in it. Where's he been, man? I don't know. I don't always love Alfred Molina, but Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2, pretty cool. Yeah, and Green Goblin too. Yeah. Are they gonna bring back James Franco? Where did that guy go? He disappeared off the planet, didn't he? He was overexposed to the point of like complete toxicity, and now he's gone. I haven't seen James Franco in anything in a long time. But Sandman back too is one of those. I think if there's one drawback to some of these movies, it's just like too many villains in one fucking movie. Or atheist church is an actual thing. No, but there's Sunday Assembly, which tried to kind of replace that, where atheists will get together and have just that community and maybe even sing songs together. And it didn't take off terribly well. There are some, if you look it up, there are some in America, but it was started in England, I want to say, and there's still probably a little bit more of them in England. But in general, atheists just want to sleep in on Sunday, man. I don't think they really, most atheists, I think, don't have that need to gather and get together and be, whatever, communal on a Sunday, like religions do. So I'm not sure it'll ever be where there's that thing where atheists gather. But if you're one of those people who misses that, then I urge you to start one for yourself. Oasis is another secular gathering if you don't have Sunday Assembly in your area. Thank you, She Wonders. Look up Oasis, overrated British band, and apparently atheist organizations that do church on Sunday. Why do you go live on Sundays? That's when I have time to, really, honestly. But it coincides with church time, so I figure that, maybe we'll get less Christians joining the live to be idiots because they're in church. I've read the Bible, that's why I'm atheist. Sandra, yes, Sandra LQ1. I think that's a common phenomenon, don't you? Reading the Bible absolutely makes more atheists than it does make believers, because it's unbelievable when you read it. There's no hate like Christian love. Yeah, it's true. That should be on billboards everywhere across the country now, because it really is true. Hi from Alberta, Canada. What's up in Alberta? I don't miss church, but I think it's helpful for kids to have that sense of community. I don't know, really. Maybe once a week on Sunday. What are they really missing? They don't get community at school. You can't they have community when they meet their friends on the playground or in the street, in your neighborhood. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, and I'm just questioning, right? I'm skeptical, because I was the same way when I was a church boy. I loved it. I loved the community. I loved doing the potluck dinners, and it was idyllic. My church was idyllic. New England, small town, white church on a hill, not preachy, not brimstone and hellfire, not Pentecostal, just a mainline Protestant church. And we had so much fun, man. I loved it. We did frog jumping contests. It was like Mark Twain. It was like growing up in a Mark Twain book. Frog jumping contests, cakewalks, band concerts, potluck dinners. There was a musical group that got together and performed at the church that wasn't necessarily church music, just local people. I don't know. I get what you're saying. I'm not sure it's necessary or irreplaceable. Some Catholic schools are really good. They are hit and miss. Yeah, I agree. I think in my town here, you get a less religious education if you go to the Catholic school than if you go to the fucking public school, where there is an active effort afoot to identify non-Christian students and then funnel them to a Christian camp in the summer where they can be proselytized to. And this stuff gets accepted by the school. It gets tolerated by the school district, even promoted by the school district. And I've fought them and won through FFRF. Teachers who try to, teach religion during public school. I have no business doing that. I'm eating yogurt and granola. Sorry, it's Atheist Brunch, and I like to bring something to actually look like I'm having brunch with all of y'all. I'm a little bit hungry because I didn't eat this morning when I got up. Thank you, She Wonders. FFRF is an amazing organization. Love all the great people down there. We will be in Boston in November for the first conference in 2 years, thanks to the vid. So can't wait for that. Your trip sounded like that movie Pollyanna. Yeah, kind of. I mean, it really was gorgeous. It was just so nice. Not preachy, easy to come out of and become an atheist, because skepticism and questioning was welcome in my church. Kirk Franzen joined. What's up, Kirk? You're going to be there? All right. And come say hi to me if you see me. I look like this. I might bring the hat and do some bits from the FFRF because I know I've gotten them some followers, man. I know it. I'm sure we do. You're right. The world is very small, and we probably do have some friends in common. I've been in the atheist movement for a solid 8 or 9 years now, and I'm quite well connected. So, may have even met some of these people. Mr. Fenwick. Who's Mr. Fenwick? I got out with the kids while they were really young. Got out of church. Yeah, a community of people who are concerned with humanitarian issues is an important lesson for kids. I will agree with that. That lady you don't know. What's up? Hi from Sweden, Ori Kanori. What's up in Sweden, my friend? My church had an esoteric understanding of the Bible where we rarely took things for as, yeah, that's how my church was. You know, nobody like told me Genesis was literal. Nobody. And we knew it wasn't because science has proven that it isn't real. That part's over. All right. Genesis has to be seen as metaphor or it's useless in any form. But when seen as metaphor, you can take a lesson from it if you want. You can spin it in a way that's useful to your life. But to pretend it's real, to pretend it really happened is just ignorant. You make yourself sound like a twit. Thanks for the rose, Sandra. Your content has really given me lots of fuel for my deconstruction fire. Thank you, Heidi. I really love it. I appreciate it so much when anybody thanks me for what I do, because really why I'm in this is to try to help people. That's the reason I got into atheist activism, is to try to bring a little bit of light to the dark ages here in America. I was a recovering from religion support group leader for a while. Nice. In Jesus' name says Jesus saves. That gets 2 from the fart machine. Great job, man. You got blocked. Majority of people in Sweden are atheists or something along those lines, including me. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to live in Scandinavia? You guys can move Scandinavia to even like a slightly more southern temperate zone. We'd all fucking move there. Nobody wants to put up with winter in Scandinavia. Otherwise, it looks like utopia to me. Public schools in Sacramento have been in steady decline for decades, even though flush with money. They have money. Yeah, because they don't care. People don't care about educating the kids. They care about keeping us in our pegs. That part's all real. The government and the establishment want to keep religious because religiosity keeps you stupid, and they don't want to be threatened by smarter people in society. Fact. In your fortune now that you thought positively? Not sure what that means, but what did you look up Kemet's?
Yeah, it was what Egypt used to call itself. Yes, Egyptians called their country Kemet.
Oh.
Literally the Black Land.
The Black Land?
Based on the rich and fertile black soil.
Okay. The Fertile Crescent of Egypt called itself the Kemet. So Kemet's, he's using Kemet's as though it were some kind of ancient religious group. They say that anything you spin, thank you for the gifts. Appreciate you. Anything you spend to be in your fortune is now more in your fortune now than that you thought positively. This is a whole positive thinking thing. Yeah, it can't hurt, right? What sparked your atheism? Just questioning the validity of myths that couldn't possibly be true. I got old enough to realize that it's all just made up shit. If you're strong in your thought processes and you're not indoctrinated in such a way that you're scared of hell so bad that you're crippled psychologically and emotionally and mentally, it's not that hard to see. All this like doubt and wondering and why religious people who believe in God firmly will have all this doubt all the time because they see that good things happen or bad things happen to good people and children get cancer, and people who supposedly follow a loving God work a genocide on a different culture, or all this. They see that and they have trouble accepting, and they try to their cognizance comes through, and they're like, why does this happen? If you just give it up, it all becomes very obvious. The universe doesn't give a fuck about us. It doesn't give a shit about which gene mutated in your body and gave you cancer. It doesn't give a crap about which molecule from space hurtled through your cerebrum and gave you a tumor. None of that shit matters to the universe. And so if you take God out of the equation, all that wondering goes away, and life becomes much more simple, and you can get along. You can get on with just enjoying it and trying to improve yourself and get better.
So Kemetism. It's like a Kemetism.
The Kemets taught about Osiris and Horus, but they weren't their gods.
Yeah, Egyptian neo-paganism is what it says.
Egyptian neo-paganism. All right.
Revival of Egyptian religion.
Sounds interesting. Am I pro-vaccine, or is Jesus your vax? I was saying, somebody was like, yeah, I got my vaccine. I'm not an idiot. Who wouldn't get a free vaccine to a nasty disease? Only a putz. If we thought about that about polio, we'd still have polio and smallpox. You know.
Jesus being your vaccine, just imagine like a needle of Jesus.
There was one of these on Reddit this morning. Mississippi governor's Southern response to COVID impacted by belief in eternal life. The Mississippi's governor, Tate Reeves, believes that Southern people are less scared. Let's see. When you believe in eternal life, when you believe that living on this earth is but a blip on the screen, then you don't have to be scared of things. So his idea is that, let me say they summed it up better in the thumbnail for the, oh yeah, here it is. Tate Reeves says Mississippians less scared of COVID because they believe in eternal life. That's what it is. They don't have to be as scared of COVID because they believe in eternal life. This is the kind of fucking thinking that we're saddled with in America. This is the kind of genius that's out there. We got the governor of Florida trying to, prohibit mask mandates. What an asshole! And thankfully, the higher courts overruled him. Right? They're like, no, you can't do that. But how much of a fuckwit do you have to be to even try to enact legislature like that as a governor? And that's what we got going on in America. Half of the governors in this country feel that way. Texas, what a boob that guy is. He said that they'll never let these atheist groups in Texas. Hate to tell you, buddy, but look at Austin. You got the biggest, most effective atheist group in the country, as far as community groups are concerned, right there in your state. And why is it there in your state? Because you need it, because your state's so full of religious assholes, embarrassing evangelical Christians, and one of them is your fucking smiling moron of a governor. Here's one for Greg Abbott. Asshole. Planes, Trains, or Automobiles. There's a great movie. Poor John Hughes. Who do you think hears you when you sleep? My girlfriend hears me farting and snoring. Thanks for the likes. I get it backwards. Thanks for the likes. Yeah, nice. Dapper Life, your demon buddy. What's up? My demon buddy. Go around town with my arm around my demon buddy. Let's go drinking, demon buddy. Thanks for the likes, Dapper Life. Appreciate you, man. I'm rolling back through the comments here to see if I find the religious situation in the U.S. so interesting and scary. Yeah, come live here, man. You think it's fucking scary for you. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Thanks for the roses, sin-free atheist. Nana in Virginia. Hey, man. We didn't see you, baby. What a crumpet. What's a crumpet? What's up? She wonders. Steam or electric train? I have electric trains. I'd love to be a steam guy, but that's a real hobby. You got to have time and money to make steam models. But I love all trains, man. I don't discriminate. Electromagnetic, high-speed rail, monorails, trolleys. Casey Jones, nice. We love Casey Jones here in Trainville. There is no proof of a higher power. Indeed, there is no proof of a higher power. There is no Hosea 13:16 in the Hebrew Bible. What is it? What did someone try to say?
I don't see that.
I didn't see that either. Okid, yeah, you're wrong about that. Matter cannot be created from nothing. It makes no sense. So what makes no sense is the idea of nothing. There never was nothing. People need to get over that. It's a bad argument. All you got to do is listen to Sean Carroll. Listen to people who put YouTube videos up that actually study this stuff, not just people who are like, well, my youth pastor told me that something can't come from nothing, and he's right, man. So I know there's a God because everything has to have a creator. Yeah, your youth pastor's a fuckwit and probably a molester, man. And what are you listening to him for? He didn't study the universe. Find me a cosmologist today that thinks God created the Big Bang. Go ahead and find me one. Find me a cutting edge cosmologist, astrophysicist, quantum mechanic. Find me a cutting edge scientist who thinks that God started it all. If there were any validity to those theories, there'd be a bunch of scientists who are on board with it, and they would write papers, and we would all get taught it as fact. But the fact that we don't means that the people who know these things understand that that's just not, it's a poor argument. We are by the track. Play hard for life. What's up? Thanks for joining. Yeah, Lawrence Krauss is one of them. We've talked to Larry Krauss, interviewed Larry a couple of times, and worked with him at the Reason rallies. And what a brilliant mind! All you got to do is listen to him talk, and you're like, oh yeah, now I get it. But no, people would rather believe, the guy who mops the floor down at the friggin' local high school, because he goes to church and he believes firmly. Yeah, you're not qualified, mate. You're not fucking qualified. How did a rock form by itself? Read a science book, my friend. Foamer. I like asking people who's older, Jesus or Muhammad. Neither of them are getting any older. I know that. What does that mean? We know Jesus is older than Muhammad. Shawnee boy, love you, my friend. Yeah, there was never nothing. That's the way that they have to look at it. The universe existed in a more solid, dense, small state, and that's what we know. We know when it expanded, and we know how long after it expanded that the current laws of physics came into play. And prior to that, we just don't know yet, and maybe we'll never know. But there's no reason to think that it was never not there. Yeah, it's just what you're talking about is magic. Some magic man in the sky is like, okay, I'm going to make this. There was no time for him to make it in before the Big Bang. There was no time. So how did it happen? No, there's no evidence for it. So it's the least plausible solution. It's possible, as I like to say. I'll give it credit for being possible, because anything is possible if you want to talk about things that way. It's just if there's no evidence for it, evidence doesn't lead there. No empirical data to study. Nothing makes us think that, except that you already thought that to begin with. If a baby was born and you dropped all the scientific knowledge of today on it at once, they would never come up with God as a solution. There's too much has been answered that used to be answered by that. It's only because all of us as a society have been indoctrinated to the idea that anybody even needs to put that out there as a possibility anymore. So, or are you going to have dinner? Yeah, I know it's late, right? It's Sweden. What's it? 6 o'clock in Sweden, 5:30, something like that. Have a good supper. What are you going to have? A smorgasbord? Some creamed herring? What you going to have in Sweden tonight, man? A nice cod from the coast. What do you eat in Sweden, my friend? Some Swedish meatballs. Oh, well, we love stereotyping, don't we? Smoke in a pancake. What's that? Smoke in a pancake. Eat mo pie. Love that name. Eat mo pie one. Says smoke in a pancake. You're gonna go make pancakes, Nick? Thanks, man. Nikolai Science got a great new channel. It took him a while to get it rolling, but now, man, he's got some followers and he posts really, really great videos that debunk all of these, supposed scientific explanations for God or philosophical explanations. So follow my guy Nikolai Science. He is a conductor on the Atheist Underground. Austin Powers, yeah, baby. Who loves Austin Powers, man? Why are we talking about Austin Powers? You want a shag, baby? We're the ones who were created some billions of years after the Earth was formed. You're unblocked? What's up, Black Atheist Rats? He's unblocked, Black Atheist. Man, fuck yo, God. He's unblocked. Go follow Black Atheist Rants right now and write a letter. Man, who do I got to write a letter to quit getting this guy blocked? Apparently, every time he posts a video now, he gets blocked. They got it in for him. I think it's a combination of atheist, prejudice against atheists and against Black people. How do you like that, man? He's getting fucked from all angles. So follow Black Atheist Rants. He's got funny shit and an absolutely straight on, great fucking take on the God myth, and something we need in society is more Black atheists. We need more visible Black atheists. We need heroes. We need athletes. We need rap stars. We need movie stars. Anybody who's in a position to use their platform as a soapbox and is actually an atheist need. We need all, because we know there's a lot of them out there, right? They're afraid to lose their audience. right? They're afraid to lose the money that they have coming in. If you think if Beyonce was an atheist, she'd come out and say she was atheist, she'd lose half her fucking fan base instantly. They all, and I know she's got like a cross tattoo. She's not an atheist. I'm just thinking of somebody, but there's a lot of them out there. Adrian Foster, the running back, he came out, and he's not a huge star. But people like that. Yeah, Morgan Freeman's a great example. Thank you. Morgan Freeman is an atheist. We need more role models like that within the community, so that it can be more normalized. And so atheism doesn't seem like such a fucking old white man's bit. We really suffer from that because I think old white men, it's just easier for us to come out and yell about it, like I am. And all of the horsemen were atheists. You got Richard Dawkins, English, the seat of white supremacy. You got Sam Harris, who's half on the wrong side of things when it comes to Black Lives Matter and shit like that. And Daniel Dennett's an old white man. Christopher Hitchens is an old white man. It's like all these old white men. And so it's just a perception problem, because we know that there's plenty of atheists of color. There's plenty of women out there who are atheists. There's plenty of ex-Muslims out there who are atheists now, and we all need to get together. You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. I can't promote you enough, dude. You really need all of that shit. And I love your vids. So keep it up. Don't fucking give up. These fuckwits on TikTok will not succeed. Old white men love Christianity to keep old white men in power. Yeah, that's a fact. That is absolute fact. A lot of those people don't give a shit. They love that Christianity keeps them in power. So those ones are disingenuous Christians, but there are ones who are actually Christians. Why is atheism the most hated belief? Like there are so many beliefs. Why can't we believe in no God? Yeah, Heather asks, Heather Mack, our girl asks, why is atheism the most hated belief? It's the most hated belief because we threaten the paradigm of every religion, right? If you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, if you're a Jew, if you're a Sikh, if you're a Hindu, if you're any religion that believes in God or gods, at least they validate the Christian's idea that there's a superior being, a supreme being, and a deity out there. So for an atheist to come along and open Pandora's box of cognitive dissonance on those people really threatens them. It threatens their way of thinking in a way that a Muslim doesn't. And we know that Americans hate Muslims like they hate the devil, but they still hate atheists worse, because at least Muslims believe in something. And you gotta believe in something, don't you? Don't you gotta believe in something? No, you don't. Republicans know Christians keep them in power. Yeah, and that's that's the sad part about the Republican Party, because they put all their eggs in that basket, and that basket is leaking. It's leaking right now, so they're going to be in trouble when they realize it's just not enough anymore. Many people think atheism is devil worship. Yeah, people are uneducated as fuck. This is a country full of half stupid people. All right, this country is a country, literally, if you look at the numbers, there's 50% people are smart and educated and care about shit, and 50% of the people in America are stupid, country hicks, redneck, idiot, science-denying, evangelical shit for brains out there. It's literally half and half, and it's starting to tip the other way, thankfully. Are you for God, in all caps? No. Thanks for asking. Yeah, but the Republicans are making sure their people get on school boards. Yeah, this is the thing. They fight dirty. We need to get out there doing that. If you are in a position to get on the school board as an atheist, get on the school board. They're actively trying to put their people in school boards so they can influence the curriculum, so they can make more Christians. It's missionary work right here at home. They are trying to subvert the public school system, and people don't learn anything now in public school. Imagine what they're going to learn when these assholes succeed. I see why you are atheist. You were hurt and you are bitter. Really? Do I seem hurt and bitter? Do you have to have a kid in school to be on the school board? No, you don't. We got a guy on the school board here. He was an ex-cop. He was an ex-captain of the fucking police in Kenosha. If there's a more embarrassing thing to have to say that you were. And he ran for the school board in a meeting that I was at, and he got elected. And he's like a grandfather. He doesn't have kids in the school district anymore. But the people in this conservative town like the idea of a strong talking ass kicker, old white man on the school board. So, hey, I'm gonna put a stop to this shit, and I'm gonna get on the school board. What is really going on with you? What is going on with you with your caps? Don't talk to me in all caps. It makes me yell in my head when I read it. Your laugh, always makes me smile. I'm glad you're smiling today, Heather. Yeah, take your caps down, man, or go away. Jesus is coming back soon. Time is running out. Turn to him before it's too late. No preaching on the train. Bye. Why are we here, Lal? Oh, Jesus loves me. Country redneck. You pretty much summed that up perfectly, didn't you? Some people sometimes just have a name that fits, don't they? In what way does Christianity violate our rights? Well, it tries to violate women's rights all the time, right? They're trying to overturn Roe versus Wade and trying to block women's access to healthcare, for one thing. And there's a million other ways, and the commenters can weigh in. You know, I got to tell you, when I did a video on it, people were like, "Oh, that's not really a right. We have a right to a secular government. The Constitution guarantees us a right to a secular government, and it's fucking not. We have a prayer breakfast. Congress opens with a prayer. Our government is infused with religion at all fucking levels, and it's only because of the Christian majority here wielding their power. Like somehow might is right. Stud-o muffin, you're awesome, buddy. People like that give us same country rednecks a bad name. Yeah, you know what? I consider myself a highbrow redneck. I grew up in the country. I love fishing. I love hunting. I got my guns. I got trucks. I grew up in the ass country. And so, to be a redneck's not necessarily a pejorative. It's just too bad that redneckery's been taken over by evangelicalism and Trumpism. Where is God in your life? There is no God in my life. There is no God. There's no God in anybody's life. It's in your mind. Religion is outdated. Yeah, it is outdated. That's what Ryan Rocks. What's up, Ryan Rocks or Rion Rocks? Rion. Prayer in school violates my right to teach my children to think for themselves. Prayer in school violates, your parents' rights to raise their children in their tradition, right? If I'm an atheist father, I have the right to raise my kid an atheist, just like a Christian parent has the right to raise his kid a Christian. And if you go to school and the Muslim teacher converts your Christian kid to Islam, there's going to be hell to pay for that poor bastard. And if an atheist teacher does the same thing, there's going to be hell to pay for that atheist teacher. But if a Christian teacher does it, the school board, the principal, everybody goes to all these great lengths to excuse it. Oh, it's just Jesus. What could it possibly hurt? No, you are violating a parent's right when you preach. That shit is for Sunday. Take them to Sunday school. If you are a shitty enough parent to want to subject your child to the fear and guilt of eternal punishment, then you fucking do that on Sunday. Leave it out of the public school. Even standing for the pledge violates my rights to teach my kids. Yes, I agree. With or without the God language, the Pledge of Allegiance is a fucking embarrassment. It's forced conformity. It's a ritual that the government is trying to make people do. It's counter to everything America stands for, the Pledge of Allegiance. Absolutely disgusting. I'm a proud West Virginia hillbilly atheist. Go, Nicole. I forgot you were in West Virginia. West Virginia, beautiful state. My heart is close to Appalachia, the whole thing. My grandparents being from Western Pennsylvania, where they say yins. You ever hear that? If you're from Western Pennsylvania, you don't say y'all, they say yins. Yins coming to dinner. Fun fact. Both my children have thanked me for allowing open thinking and dialogue. Good for you, man. Carolyn, what's better than your children thanking you? Better than your children hating you for fucking them up with religion. Louisville. What's up in Louisville, Kentucky? Woo. Louisville seems like a cool little town. I got to give it to every time I drive through Louisville a lot. It's a pretty little town, little skyline. You will stand before him one day. You didn't even type that right. You mean I will stand before him one day? And no, I won't. What about the military? Thank you for finally getting rid of that asshole. Borat. Jesus. Is it liberal for the most part? Is what liberal? Patriot songs sung in schools. Yeah, all that shit. It's just, I'm a libertarian when it comes to that shit. And the government enforcing an activity on kids is anti-American as it gets. Somebody asked, what about the military? I don't. The military is, there's a lot of great things about the American military. I grew up a Coast Guard brat. There's a lot of things to compliment the military about. I'm not one of those guys who's down on the military, but the whole complex is evil. It's disgusting. They overpay for stuff, and the budget could half of the budget could go to actually helping people instead of paying too much for a hammer or too much for a bolt or policing the fucking world. I'm pull the military out of everywhere. I don't care. Let the Taliban have Afghanistan. Afghanistan should sort that shit out for themselves. And if they can't do it, they're going to be under the Taliban until they can. Why is it America's job to police other states? I never understood that. From a young child, looking at Vietnam, when my dad was in the Coast Guard in Vietnam, so he didn't have to fight actively, didn't get killed. But I remember watching the news. It changed the news forever. I'm old enough to remember watching the news, and you would see dead bodies with flies coming out of their mouths, and those horrible images of the war in Vietnam. And my parents were Republicans, but they weren't pro-war Republicans. My dad told me, listen, son, nobody wins wars. That was his bit. I was like, who's winning the war, Dad? Who's winning the war? I'm like a 6-year-old kid, 7-year-old kid. Nobody wins wars, son. And that was his take on it. And it's not wrong, right? But why were we there? Why? And now my point was that we don't get to see that on the TV anymore. War becomes sanitized. The Persian Gulf War, sanitized war, right? We could see like the smart bombs. Remember that for the first time? How cool that was? Cool, but cool the imagery of seeing, a bomb specifically targeted to a bunker and then watching it blow up from the satellite feed, or however they did that. It changed, but then it distances us from the horror, right? There's still somebody getting their guts blown out underneath that bomb, but we're not seeing it like we did in the Vietnam televised war era. After that, people complained so bad that they stopped doing that. We don't get to see that on TV anymore. And again, it had, in one way it's good because kids don't have to see that horror on TV, but in another way it's bad. It's like putting a gun in the hand of somebody who's so far away from it that they're removed from the viscera of what they're actually doing, the crimes that they're committing. So people are like, oh, that was clean. Yeah, boy, that was cool the way they blew up that convoy. It's like there's a bunch of dead people now and families without dads. How is that cool? Desert Storm trading cards. Yeah, the ones with like the most wanted folks.
No, they had kids.
Huh?
They had like pictures of tanks and like military vehicles. And then you could trade them with your friends. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. I'll bring up my phone there.
Gulf War trading cards. Yeah, I never saw that. Or razor wire in the bush. Not cool. What's that mean? We'd hate to have razor wire in my bush, man. That'd be painful. You have a Desert Storm ID card holder from your mom? Wow. Would I date a Christian? Is he hot? I'm just teasing. I'm straight, but I'm putting that out there. No, probably not. Probably not. I can't remember the last time I dated anybody who gave a shit about religion. I think if they're like people who sort of identify as Christians because that's the way they grew up, but they don't really give it any further thought than that. Maybe. But you're attracted to who you're attracted to, and you can't really help that, can you? The Afghan-Iraq war was about money and retaking the Holy Land. Yeah, it was. Well, Afghan was about finding Obama, right? Or Obama. They do that all the time. Obama bin Basada. Osama bin Laden, right, was supposedly hiding in Afghanistan. That's why we went into Afghanistan, as I remember. It was 20 fucking years ago. But the Iraq thing, well, yeah. I mean, Bush lied about getting us into Iraq. Lied about weapons of mass destruction. And W, you can put him on a boat with Trump and send him to stupid land, as far as I'm concerned, and no one would miss him. Please show your doggo. Come here, baby. Ginger, what are you doing? Up. Ginger, the faceless healer. What's up, baby? Oh, I love you so much. She's such a good dog. This is Ginger. She's a red healer, an Australian healer, and she's not usually this patient for the camera. So she never goes far from me. She goes everywhere with me. She's in the truck when I go to work every day. She's off a leash. She doesn't run away. If I whistle, she comes. If someone fucks with me, she barks at them. You don't think Bush lied? Oh, you're being sarcastic? Yeah, she's Ginger. She's a beautiful dog. She's the faithless healer because she's an Australian healer. So that's my pun on faith healers. She's a faithless healer because she's an atheist dog. Yes, there is no God, but there is a dog. Grandpa was in Vietnam. Grandpa was in Vietnam. And he said they used razor wire. Yeah, they used everything. They used everything they could. Agent Orange and disgusting fucking chemicals and napalm. And, horrible. Thank you for loving my videos. Productions. Thank you, my friend. I love making them. I love all you people. No, I know you, Carolyn. You got me for a second there, baby, though. Leaving Afghanistan was the most fiscally conservative thing to have happened in decades. Yeah, probably. I don't have any problem with leaving Afghanistan. I honestly don't. It's too bad what's going on there. The Taliban sickens me. We're fighting the American Taliban here, and I think that we should use the military more appropriately to stop, say, insurrections against the capital by Christian conservatives, by the Christian Taliban. Let Afghanistan sort it out for themselves. I feel bad, and I suppose if it got to the point where the Taliban was actually like doing a genocide, the world community might come together and then try to stop it in a real coalition. If it got to that point, I guess there's some validity there when you're trying to stop something like that. But yeah, Al Qaeda, you're right. But other than that, it's like, no, what the fuck? Let's get back to getting the military ready for for the Chinese invasion that's coming when they take over the world, because they care about education and not religion. One of my friends has had brain cancer multiple times because his dad was exposed to Agent Orange. Yeah, I'm sure. Awful. Why don't you believe in God? Because there's no evidence. Why do you believe in God? Well, did you read about the missile Biden used? It's like the next level weapon. No, did Biden use a missile? I have trouble believing Biden can use anything. Cane, a walker. He needs to use a fucking trimmer. I know that it creeps me out the way that old dudes let their hair get long in the back, and then he lays his head down and sticks out like a fucking nasty fringe. It's like, you're bald, asshole. Shave your fucking head. God, dudes go bald and then they just keep on combing their hair the way they did when they had hair. It's like, not the 70s anymore, Jack. Get with the program and get rid of that nasty fringe. Why trust Cheney? Cheney was evil. If there was a human being who was evil, it was Cheney. And William Barr. That's evil incarnate right there. Have a good Sunday, Sandra. You taking off? See you later, baby. Hey, friend, what has brought you joy today? We threw a troll under the train today. One of the videos that we did was we took a comment from a troll that was so stupid. Sometimes these comments are so stupid that they're not even sometimes the troll's yeah, all right, you got a point, I get you. But sometimes they're so ignorant and stupid that we have to throw them under the train. And so Jay and I filmed one of those. It'll be coming out pretty soon. That gives me joy every time I see the little train dog get run over by the train and smashed. Yeah, Rush Limbaugh. Yeah, he was evil. You're right. That gave me joy. Thank you for asking.
Oh
yeah. Sorry. Woo. I'm looking at the StreamYard comments to see if I. Oh, you were just asking her. Granola in the throat. Thoughts on Islam, brother? Islam is the only slightly worse than Christianity in terms of being the worst religion in the universe. And only because they incite violence and fatwa, right? What other religion calls for the death of people on the scale that Islam does? So yeah, go through my videos. If you haven't gone to my page, I get accused all the time. You only pick on Christianity. Why do you pick on Christianity so much? We're just Christians. We're just love people. You don't pick on other religions. Go look at my fucking videos, man. I've already been blocked and kicked off TikTok for fucking with Islam. I slam Islam. See what I did there? I slam Islam. What are your thoughts on Ask Ketchum from Pokemon? From Pokemon being a lick? No idea. I don't know what that means, buddy. I'm not a Pokemon guy. I did see the movie with Ryan Reynolds. Big Ryan Reynolds fan. It was cute. Detective Pikachu or whatever the fuck it was. That was a cute movie, but I don't know shit about Pokemon. Your atheist mentor that you really connect with? Nah, I don't really have an atheist mentor. I don't think. I came out of it on my own when I was in college, and I came out of it like nothing. No religious trauma, no deconstruction. People are talking, I'm deconstructing from religion, which is awesome if that's what you need. But don't feel like I needed to deconstruct. I was just like, you know what? Day by day, I was just like, this is stupid. It couldn't possibly be real. They brainwash them young and keep the women voiceless. Yeah, yeah. Love Hitchens. Alcohol kills, and tobacco kills. That's Hitchens' lesson for all of us. He'd still be with us if he wasn't such a fucking drunk. Empower the men as long as they do everything in service to Allah and country. Yeah, you can. So I'm reading the Quran now, and you can so see that it was written for men. Like nothing could be more obvious than it was like a men's club. One asshole talking to a bunch of other assholes who are all like, "Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. I should be able to do that with my woman." Love Ricky Gervais. Yeah, I'm a big Handmaid's Tale fan. Are you kidding me? One of my favorite shows. I think it's a beautifully shot and conceived show, not just because of the content in the story. I'm going to meet Margaret Atwood. She's going to be at the FFRF convention in Boston. Can't wait to talk to her. Maybe I can get her on. Maybe I can get her on a TikTok. That'd be very cool. Least evil major religion, Sikh. The Bible written by men for men. Yes, of course. Everything in the ancient world was written by men for men because that's what it was all about. Is keeping the power amongst the powerful, and taking out the divine feminine that might have been in there. Any female goddesses that might have held sway in the later liturgy are erased from history just because of that fact. So that the men could hang on to their patriarchy and their chauvinism. The Bible was written by God. Wait, one more. The Bible was written by God. Why didn't it appear all at once in every language on a big pedestal somewhere in Switzerland, nice neutral country? If it was written by God, why did that happen? Why did it have to be written by God except for by 50 other people or 100 other people over 3 centuries or 3 millennia and edited later by other white men in the West? But the idea that the Bible is written by God is one of the stupidest things anybody could ever say. Did you hear about the horrible speech for LDS? No, I did not. What's that, Nicole? The parables and documents in there are plagiarized esoteric ideas. Yeah, of course they are. The Bible is largely plagiarized, and they found that out when they discovered the Enuma Elish in the Epic of Gilgamesh. They found out that the Hebrew Bible, wasn't suddenly the oldest book. The omnipotent God can't even send an email. Yeah, where's the fucking memo? God, where's the memo? That's all you'd have to do, right? If Afghanistan was ex-Christians, would it be a problem? What does that mean? I don't get the question. The parables and documents in there, I saw that. Animism, the least evil religion? Is that a religion? Or is it just kind of a philosophy? I'm not sure that counts as a religion anymore. Maybe a cult. But yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. I heard some people believe God had a wife, Mother God. Like God had a wife, not Jesus. I mean, it's large. That's an old theory that Jesus was actually married to Mary Magdalene and had kids, right? But God himself had a wife. It'd be nice to know that God took a rolling pin to the head when he got home from work every day. Did you pick up milk like I told you? Yahweh, you're losing your mind.
Jesus is their stepson.
Imagine that. Jesus was a stepson. She never liked him. So, yeah. I don't like that Jesus.
Just like whip him again.
No, he's nothing but problems. Flog him 39 times. If Afghanistan was Christian based, not Islam, would it be a problem and be invaded by the West? If it was Christian and not Islam, then Osama bin Laden wouldn't have hidden there in a cave, or they wouldn't have reason to think that he was being harbored there. So probably not. No, I mean, the West definitely doesn't treat Islamic countries any better than they treat other countries that they've colonized. I'm not about that. I don't excuse Western imperialism just because I hate Islam. Now called the Musket speech. I missed that. When Nicole to BYU. Yeah, the LDS made a speech to BYU called the Musket speech. Just this week, Holland is his name. LGBTQ hate. Oh, yeah. No, I didn't see that. Let's look that up, man. Nicole, thank you for filling me in. I'm going back here. Mormons believe that for sure. Why do men usually die before their wives? They choose to. Is that a wife joke? Oh. Maybe you should read The Handmaid's Tale before you meet Margaret Atwood. Yeah, maybe I should. Maybe that's not a bad idea. I could bring my copy and get it signed like a fanboy. I prefer TV. Wow, it's horrible, right? I'll try that. That's a smart thing because I think the TV show's already gone beyond the scope of the novel, like a lot of these shows do. But I'm not sure, so that would be a good one to read. Thank you, everybody. Read The Handmaid's Tale if you haven't, because that's what we're fighting. This is what the Christian nationalists want to make this country like The Handmaid's Tale. They think that that's good. You know, they want a country where a woman gets her finger cut off for reading from the Bible to a group of men. You know, this is what they want to go back to. How often we see the whole you taking off?
Yeah, you take off.
See you later, man. Thank you. Yep. Producer Jay, Atheist Animated, to follow him. He's taking off. It's already noon, man. Wow, what do you know? That's why he's got to go, because he's got a life and a family to take care of. Handmaid's Tale feels way, yeah, it does feel way too real. And I think, you know, if you watch the TV show, it's a little bit over the top, but it's making the point, right? It's making the point that that's what these assholes really want. And how many women in America are behind Christian nationalism, despite its anti-feminist stance and its misogynistic and chauvinistic stance? It's Stockholm Syndrome. It's such a psychological phenomenon where the oppressed ends up sympathizing with the oppressor. The whole Patty Hearst thing, right? If you're old, you remember Patty Hearst. But yeah, the women in America should be embarrassed. If you're a woman and you're a Christian in America, you need psychological help. You need to go down and get therapy. Have you ever listened to the Cults podcast? No, I don't hear a lot of podcasts. I wish I could do more of that. I just don't have time the way my life goes right now, between my job in the summertime, especially, and trying to create and trying to keep up with all this stuff that we've started. Peter F says, Jesus loves you, brother. He died for you. No preaching on the train. Bye. Atheism makes no sense. Yeah, same asshole. Bye. Christians distorted that belief with threats of eternal damnation. Atheism doesn't make sense to the indoctrinated. The rest of us are like, what could be more obvious? We're born atheists. We're born atheists. And people are like, yeah, you need to choose to be an atheist. You only need to choose that once someone has presented you with the God concept, which we aren't born with. So clearly we're born atheists, and that is the natural state of things. Yeah, Jesus had a bad weekend, and nobody asked him to die for me. It's the idea that he did is silliness. It's rampant silliness. It's nonsensical. Why couldn't God just forgive us if he wanted to forgive us? Why do we have to jump through these hoops? Why does he have to kill somebody who's himself, who he is both his son and himself? It's just a metaphor. Losing your firstborn son was the worst thing that could happen to you back in the day, like that. So for God to do that, to lose his firstborn son willingly for us, is just it's an allegory for what's the greatest thing you could sacrifice for people you love. It doesn't stand up to the remotest scrutiny. Yeah, when a carpenter dies by wood and nails, it is ironic. I'm not sure. I don't believe Jesus, if he existed, was a carpenter. There wasn't enough wood in the area for anybody to make a living as a carpenter. They were furnitures, were stone carvers. The houses were made out of other materials. And carpenter, to me, is just a Western convention to spin Jesus as middle class, working class, and not make him seem like an elitist or a priestly class. So he's one of us. Jesus is a carpenter, just like the good old carpenter that down the road. Toby, I'll pray for you. I'll think for you. Thanks, man. Yes, they just want you to make us feel guilty, obligated. Yeah. And the same story is told before the story of Christianity. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, Nicole. Thank you. Dirt the Deer. Dirt the Deer, John. Well, I worked with a couple guys named Jesus. They didn't turn water into wine either. Yeah, I work with a bunch of Jesuses, and they don't really even like wine, honestly. Una Corona, un modelo, está mejor para ellos. Jesus died for our sins, so better start sinning. Yeah, you don't want him to have died in vain, right? I've seen that T-shirt. Yeah, better start sinning. You don't want him to have died for nothing, poor sap. They can't watch telly in Afghanistan because of the Taliban. That's a corny joke. Dad jokes, they call them now, right? We used to just call that corny. I didn't make a corny joke. Now it's a dad joke, which is offensive to dads, I think. Not all dad jokes are into corn. But I had not heard that one. That's pretty good. The Taliban. I love my wine. Shame. Yeah, well, I'm not a big wine guy. I enjoy wine. I appreciate wine. I have a decent education in wine as far as tasting, but I don't like getting drunk. I think getting drunk is the most inferior high that you can possibly get. Getting drunk, especially on wine, the fermentation continues, oxygen, headache. I just, because wine hangovers made to happen, and wine's one of those things. Like, yeah, glass of red wine, it's got some antioxidants in it. Could be spun as good for you. In the end, it's just an addiction. My mom is addicted to a glass of wine every night, and she's probably gonna outlive me. Yeah, it's not like she's an alcoholic, but she's definitely addicted to alcohol every night, and maybe that makes her an alcoholic. I guess I don't know. But this was from someone who refused to drink. She was such a Puritan when we were growing up that she refused to drink anything, and really like got pissy with people. If my dad had a beer, he didn't drink, but his brothers drank, and they would get together and have a poker game. My dad had one beer. My mom would get visibly upset about that. And then after the divorce, she dated a younger guy and discovered that maybe having a drink now and again isn't gonna fucking send you to hell, right? And now needs a glass of wine every night. That's alcohol for you. It's an insidious nerve poison. So I recommend everybody anywhere who wants to, if you need an attitude adjustment, smoke weed, do some mushrooms. Getting stuck on alcohol is ugly, and it'll kill you. Jesus drank wine, yet Christians can't drink. Why? Christians can drink. There's plenty of Christians who drink. Heather, probably, there's a lot of churches who forbid it, I guess, but that's just one sect. I know plenty of Christians. The Catholics are notorious drunks. So if you're involved in one of those churches that prohibits drinking, that's just stupid. And I've heard the excuses. Everybody's like, well, Jesus drank what we call new wine, and new wine is just grape juice that hasn't fermented yet. In the old days, they had new wine and old wine. And so when Jesus talks about drinking wine, he's really talking about drinking grape juice. Bullshit. Stalks people for corny jokes. I'm all ears. I love it. The crafty canine. He's full of it today. Catholics get lit. Yeah, they do. They get lit right the fuck up. And Catholic priests do too, man. Them old boys can pound some whiskey. Alcohol is good for you in a small amount, in a very small amount. Think about the drugs that can actually kill you from overdosing. Alcohol is right at the top of the list. Priests drink all the time. Yeah, if I was a priest, I'd drink too. What the fuck? No celibacy? What do you have? You'd have to drink, wouldn't you? Alcohol is not a problem. It's not a problem. It's true. The problem is that it becomes a problem and people don't know it. It's addictive, and suddenly you're addicted and you don't know it. So I'm not down on people who like drinking. I really am. I'm not judging, because I've done my share of drinking, and I got my other issues with stuff. Sane One Art. What's up, Sane One Art? A couple of good whistles for you, my friend. Thanks for being here. You should see the Catholics during Mardi Gras. Yeah, well, that's the point, isn't it? You party before Lent, party your fool ass off before you got to give it up for a while. Yeah, Heather Mack with those green leaves, man, baby. There's nothing finer in the world in really good sense, man. And the tables have the revolving door on weed has turned. When I was young, and even before my time smoking weed was kind of shitty. Always had seeds, kind of brown and crappy and stuff. Like the weed you get today would have fucking killed the hippie from back in the day. It's so much better than it used to be, and now it's hard to find that shitty weed. Everybody's figured out how to just get good Sensimilla, good kind, with a hybrid name that was grown in an ideal environment for big flowers. It's not even comparable to the weed that they had at Woodstock. Those people would get fucking hallucinogenic on the weed that we have today. Slow-mo, what's up, bud? Luciferian, I'm pagan, but I am interested in atheist views. I hope so. That's why we're here. Fish on Friday, yeah. I love a Friday fish fry. Can't bitch about it. It's a huge thing here in Wisconsin. The Friday fish fry is like a Wisconsin tradition. and it's Catholic. Obviously, it came from Catholicism and eating fish on Friday, which isn't like biblical, isn't like Catholic doctrine. It's just like a tradition that came about, I think, because of meat rationing in World War II. I think we were just trying to save meat, but I never really got why that came around. But I'm not ashamed to have a tasty fish fry on Friday as an atheist. Paraquat back in Nixon's days. What's that? What are you talking about? Is that a chemical? Simplest view in the world. We only really have one common view. Yeah, I'm talking about pagans and atheists. Pagans and atheists, I think, have a great simpatico. I think we all get along with pagans. We all understand. A lot of pagans aren't really into the supernatural bit. They're into the connection to nature and don't necessarily believe that there's gods out there. So I think a lot of pagans are actually atheists. But more important to me is the minority religion thing. Atheists in our fight against Christian nationalism need all of the minority religions in the country on board, and that includes Muslims. I know tons of great Muslim people here who don't give a fuck about Islam, really. They were born and raised Muslim, so they're Muslim, but they're just a Moroccan dude working down at the bar, and they don't care about following Sharia law. They don't care about eating only halal. They were like a lot of Christians in this country. It's just the way they were raised. They don't really give it a further thought. These are just good people who end up being persecuted because they're not evangelicals in America, or at least shit on, or given grief and maybe even attacked. So to me, we need all the minority religions on our side in the fight against Christian nationalism, and of course that includes paganism. And the rise in paganism and the rise in interest in paganism tickles me. It tickles me pink. The Muslim by association, yeah, it's true. I know so many good Muslims. So people who are like, why you're down? I don't hate Muslims. And most of the Muslims I meet are awesome people, just trying to live their lives, raise their kids, go to work, and get along. Evangelicals make you want to die. Yeah, they do. Per Old Testament, we aren't to partake in animals with cloven hooves. Yet Christians love barbecue. Yeah, well, that shit went out. That went out the board. They don't. Christians don't care about Torah law. They don't care about ancient Hebrew law. They care about original sin in Genesis and a connection through David to Jesus, so that the myth has an arc, beginning, a middle, and an end. And without the Old Testament, it has no beginning. Right? If there's no original sin, as explained in Genesis, there's nothing for Jesus to die for, right? Because people are like, everybody sins. First of all, there is no sin. And second of all, I know people who are pretty fucking sin-free. I just know people. You ever meet somebody who's just so nice? They don't have anything bad to say about anybody, ever. And they don't hurt anybody, and they're loving, and whatever you might call a sin, they really don't engage in. You know what I mean? So the idea that everybody is born sinful and that everybody sins is a religious idea. That is the punishment. That is the disease that they provided you with the cure. It's like they made up the disease and they made up the cure. So they got you on both sides. And then they convince you that without the cure, you get the punishment and you go to hell. So it's like they got the whole thing covered. It's just a way to stick your fucking brain in their religion through indoctrination and fear and guilt. It's stupid. This Faust. People keep recommending Faust. I love Randy Newman, and I'll have to listen to Faust, as I have not yet. My nephew sued the Catholic Church for just under $1 million. Did he win? What did they do? Did they touch his pee-pee? Well, why did he sue him? Thanks for the share, Lecker Becky. Appreciate you. Lecker Becky. It's a lot of K's, man. Paganism is a pretty generic term for polytheism. Typically, it's a real generic term. Paganism could mean a lot of things. I mean, anybody who wasn't part of one of the monotheistic faiths was just called a pagan back in the day. It included the Norse paganism. All of the British Isles had their own versions of paganism. Even in the Middle East, the Muslim tribes, before Muhammad forced them to convert to Islam by war, were what they would have considered pagan tribes with their own set of gods. Busy lady, thanks for the follow. I guess I'm a pagan. But all pagans here, but all heathens, I'm pagans. 12:19. We'll go for 10 more minutes. Get your questions up there. Get your pertinent comments up there, and I will answer them. Excuse me while I Dab my aquiline nose. See that nose? It's a fucking nose, my friends. That's why when I dress up in drag, people are like, that's one ugly woman. It's a friggin' hawk nose. My issue with religion is it inures you to change. Faith closes the door on change, improvement. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's the end of learning. You know, there used to be a time when religion promoted learning in the Catholic Church and other organizations where actually ran the schools that discovered a lot of science and taught people humanities and cared about religion to a certain point, or cared about education to a certain point. But really, in the end, you know, religion is like looking backwards through a telescope. You don't see a broader picture ever. You see a narrowed focus down to one germ of an idea that it all started from. You know, I always laugh at people like, let's Bible study. Let's have a Bible study. Really? That thing hasn't been studied to fucking death. You're going to continue to go back to the same fictitious myth book to look for more wisdom there, like there's something you missed. Well, let's study the Bible. How about we study things that we don't know? How about we study the universe? How about we study medicine? How about we study how to improve our minds? How about we study a million things that haven't been learned yet before we go back and study a book that's been beaten to death and flogged and whipped and anything that was good in it was discovered long ago and can be easily shown, and there's no need to go back and study it again. So to me, religious education, not only an oxymoron, it's just like looking backwards. It's learning an opposite. Yeah, thanks. I'll skip the Bible study too. Thoughts on marriage? Another religious construct promoted by the government to control people. I think that the human beings are pack animals. I think it's much more of a natural state to be polyamorous, if you will, or polygamous. And for anybody who wants to gather a group of lovers, wives, or husbands around them, as they can do so. The idea that monogamy is somehow necessary is just a way for the government to control you, your money, the stats, and it has underpinnings in Christianity. Doesn't make any sense at all. I don't think people cheat all the time. And marriage is just if we weren't married, there wouldn't be cheating, right? And that's not for everybody. Monogamy works for some people, and some people fall in love with each other and they don't have anybody else, and they're not tempted and they don't go out, and that's fine too. But I think it's more easily defensible to say that we're more like wolves and lions, where a dominant party, a male in most of the instances in nature, but not all, I don't think. And I think humans have evolved to the point where women can do the same thing, and they should have the right to. But I think that's generally how it works. An older, attractive male will attract a group of wives, and at some point he's challenged for supremacy in the tribe. And if someone kicks his ass, they take his wives, or if someone can attract his wives away from him as he gets older, or he fucks up, or then that's what happens. And I think it should be the same for women. If women want to be leaders and they want to have 3-4 husbands, I'm all for it, man. I'll sign up to be one of the husbands for a number of women that I can name easily. Wouldn't mind sharing. Happy to be the 3rd or 4th husband of Megan Thee Stallion. I'm good with that. Thanks for the follow, Lil's Nowhere. Humans are one of the only few animals that mate year-round. Yeah, I guess that's true, right? Yeah. We mate whenever we want. That's because we understand it's for pleasure on a level that, I think all animals find sex pleasurable. But you're right, the instinct to procreate is not as... it's been beaten back in humans. And for us, it's more about a pleasure thing, and we understand that sex can be used for pleasure, and that's not sinful, that's not evil. There's a lot of things like that. Humans are the only human females are one of the only mammals, if not the only mammal, with permanently swollen breasts. It doesn't really happen in the animal kingdom. Yeah, you can have a train whistle. Who's this? Dog Universe TikTok. Doge Universe TikTok. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. All right, I'm back. Felt like shit, laid down for 20 minutes, and now you feel way better. Sorry, agnostic atheist Ashton. There's a whistle for you, man. I hope you feel better. I know how that is. I do that sometimes. I go take 3 extra strength Excedrins, the generic brand, and lay down if I feel shitty, and I'm almost always feel better after that. Half of a husband wouldn't be too bad. The bottom half, right? Or maybe the top half. I don't know. You're welcome, Doge. Give me the bottom half. The top half talks too much. Yeah, I think that men could say that about women too, and it would be just as good of a joke, my friend. And they have made that joke, right? That was you all day yesterday. Oh, Heather, you'll be all right. Leckerbeck, thanks for the likes. Really appreciate you guys. Detroit Institute of Art. Institute of Fart. No, Detroit Institute of Art. Is there such a thing? That sounds like an oxymoron too. I should go to Detroit. It's not that far from here. And people get down on it so bad. Poor Detroit. And it probably is. It's probably pretty fucked up, but it doesn't scare me. And maybe I'll go see the Red Sox play the Tigers. What about the front half? There you go. Have a beautiful day. Go smoke and enjoy the day. Thanks, Nicole. Thanks for being here. We're only going to be on for a few more minutes and I'm going to blast off. Really appreciate all you guys. It's so great to do this. I'll admit to never shutting up. Okay. Yeah, obviously I never shut up. And my girlfriend she's like, why can't you just stop talking for 1 fucking minute, man? It really frustrates her. She's a quiet type. And as you know, I can really go. Yuns, have a good one. Thanks, man. Thanks for saying that. Bro, if you go to Detroit, come down here and visit me. It's pretty close to Detroit, Fort Wayne. I know where Fort Wayne is, not very far from us anyway. So yeah, we're going to talk about some more of that. There's somebody else in Fort Wayne who is an atheist and who reaches out and wants to maybe. So I got some plans in the works about how maybe we can do an event. Is my girlfriend atheist? You know what? She says she's atheist when she's in front of me. People ask her, "You believe in God?" And she's like, "No." And I'm not sure she's not more agnostic than atheist, but she doesn't give a fuck about religion. She was raised. Her dad's one of those people who prays in a restaurant in public. You know what I mean? He's like Christian. So she's rebelled against that pretty much. So yeah, I don't think if she has a God belief, it's pretty well beaten into the background. Thanks for the cake, Nicole. Who doesn't love cake? Oh, your dad prays in restaurants? Oh, it's so pious, isn't it? Didn't you read the verse? Is it what, Matthew 4? I forget. I used to know my verses better, where Jesus says that, it's don't pray in public like the pious people who just want to be seen praying. I feel like that's really what that is. Blow your whistle when you praise. Matthew 6:6 and 6:7, I want to say, are those when Jesus talks about praying. Thank you, busy lady. Pray at home, pray in secret, pray in on your own time. That's where Jesus says to pray. So when Christians are like, I ain't taking God out of the public square, your Jesus doesn't want God in the public square. It's not where he belongs. That is for the pious who want to be seen to be religious and don't have any real faith at all. So yeah, praying in public is so cringe. I'd rather see people making out with tongues a-flagging and flying than see people praying in public. It just makes me itchy. Yeah, he always tries to make me pray too and gets upset when I say no and forces me anyways. Tell him you prayed and you just didn't make a show of it. You prayed in your mind with your eyes open. It's not possible. You can just pray. I just prayed just now. Prayed that Christianity would go away. No preaching in the restaurant, please. For sure. It's the hypocrisy of it for me. Yeah, really, and that was Jesus' point. If Jesus ever had a point, religious people weren't to have anything to do with government. If you were one of God's people, then stay out of government. That's one thing the JWs understand and get right. They're like, do not involve yourself in earthly governments. It's not the concern. It's not what it's about. So for Christian nationalists to try to enforce themselves on our government is counter to Christianity, period. When I was younger, many men wore that hat. Were you as old as I am? I just want to ask, are you completely sure you want to be against Jesus and be on the losing side? I'm not against Jesus. Jesus has every right to exist and do his thing, which is as a figment in people's mind. But yeah, for you to assume that there's a right or wrong on that side of things, it just makes you look silly, dude. So thanks. Yeah, I'm absolutely sure that I want to be on the side of reason, of evidence, of logic, of rationality, of humanity, not of living for a mythical paradise in the sky that we don't even know exists. All right, for you to pretend that you know it's the truth just takes the wind out of your faith. You sound stupid when you pretend that you know your Christian myth is the truth. It might be the truth. There is that remote possibility that we find out it's true, but you don't know that. You're just basing that on a book that you were indoctrinated into reading or being taught from. You probably haven't read it, but you know the only reason you think that is because you were brainwashed into it. For you to pretend that you know it's true runs counter to everything that faith stands for. The power of faith is in believing it even though you know it's not true, or you don't know if it's true. So you know you just sound like an idiot when you do that. I'm gonna blast off. It's 12:30. Appreciate all of you again. Go to cafepress.com, Atheist Underground Gear. Go to YouTube and subscribe to us. Go to Instagram. I've experienced God myself, so get mental help. Anybody can say that that's your mind. We know where that comes from, buddy. It comes from your mind. We can all experience God. I can go right now and start doing exercises and pretend that that what I see in my mental gymnastics is experiencing God. That's just you. If you'd never heard of God, you wouldn't think that. So yeah, I'm glad. But you're proud to be a gay Christian. All right. Well, Christianity's anti-gay, so I'm glad you can justify that. But I love my gay friends. I got nothing bad to say about the LGBT community. You got it, baby. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm gonna let you guys out of here. Do shrooms to experience God. Yeah, any of that kind of shit will help you experience God if that's what you want to call it. So again, thanks for joining us. Love all of you. I would climb through the camera and make love to each one of you in a row if I could. And I will see you on Wednesday, if not before, my friend. Bye now. I forgot to end it on YouTube. I'm here chewing food. I forgot Jay left. Thank you for being here, everybody. On YouTube, via StreamYard. I am going to go. See you later.